What if I told you that there's a state your body can enter where it doesn't just burn fat, but actually starts recycling old, damaged cells and replacing them with newer, more efficient ones? It sounds extreme, almost unreal, but this isn't another diet trend or a simple fasting trick you've heard 100 times before. In fact, what I'm about to reveal goes far beyond intermittent fasting, and even beyond what most health experts fully understand. Because here's the truth. Your body has a built-in survival mechanism, a hidden biological upgrade that only activates under very specific conditions. And the strange part? Most people unknowingly get close to triggering it, then stop. They quit too early, just hours, sometimes even minutes, before their body flips the switch into its most powerful repair mode. Think of your body like a cluttered house. Most diets, they rearrange the furniture, clean things up on the surface, but this process, it's different. It doesn't just tidy up, it throws out the junk, strips things down, and begins rebuilding from the inside out. And when that happens, the changes aren't just internal. People start noticing it on the outside too. The puffiness begins to fade. Skin looks tighter, clearer. There's a sharpness, a kind of natural glow that wasn't there before. But here's the part no one really explains properly. What I'm about to show you isn't just about weight loss. It's about activating a dormant system inside your body that most people never reach. I'm Dr. Leon Hartwell, and for years I've focused on metabolic health, cellular biology, and the deeper mechanisms that control how the human body repairs, ages, and regenerates itself. My work has largely centered around individuals dealing with insulin resistance, stubborn weight gain, chronic fatigue, and what many would describe as accelerated aging. People who feel like their body is working against them, no matter how disciplined they are. Through both clinical observation and hands-on work with advanced fasting practitioners, I've spent years studying how the body responds when it's pushed beyond its usual patterns, especially in relation to metabolic switching and the process known as autophagy, where the body begins breaking down and recycling its own damaged components. And what I noticed early on was something that didn't quite align with conventional advice. I've worked with individuals who exercised daily, followed strict diets, tracked every calorie, yet their bodies still looked inflamed, tired, and older than they should. Despite all the effort, something was missing. Over time, I realized the issue wasn't a lack of discipline, it was timing. Most people never allow their body to enter the deeper biological states where true repair actually begins. They stay stuck in a constant cycle of feeding, digesting, and storing, never crossing the threshold where the body shifts its priority from growth to repair. And that's where extended fasting started to reveal something different, not as a trend, not as a shortcut, but as a doorway into a completely different layer of human biology. A state where the body stops focusing on external fuel and begins turning inward, repairing, resetting, and optimizing from within. Now, this isn't about extreme behavior or pushing your body to dangerous limits. It's about understanding how your body was designed to function and using that knowledge in a strategic, controlled way. Because when you begin to see fasting through that lens, it stops being about restriction and starts becoming about activation. In this video, I'm going to break this down in a way that's simple, practical, and grounded in real science, so you can decide what's right for your body. In the next few minutes, I'm going to walk you through something most people have never fully understood about fasting, and why the way it's commonly practiced barely scratches the surface of what your body is actually capable of. First, we're going to look at what really happens inside your body during a water fast. And I don't just mean fat burning, that's the surface level effect that gets all the attention. What's far more important are the deeper biological shifts that begin to take place once your body moves beyond its usual fuel sources and enters a completely different metabolic state. From there, I'll show you the hidden mechanism that activates true cellular repair. This is the point where your body stops focusing on storing energy and starts breaking down what's old, damaged, or no longer efficient, and begins rebuilding from within. This is where most of the powerful benefits actually come from, but it's also the stage most people never reach. We'll then break down the science behind autophagy and metabolic switching in a way that's simple and easy to follow. No complicated jargon, just a clear understanding of how your body transitions from constant intake to internal repair, and why that shift matters more than any diet plan you've tried before. After that, we'll look at what research and clinical observations actually show. Because this isn't just a trend or something circulating online, there's a growing body of evidence explaining why these processes exist and how they influence aging, energy levels, and overall metabolic health. Then I'll walk you through how to approach a controlled water fast in a way that's practical and safe. Not extreme, not reckless, but structured in a way that aligns with how your body is designed to respond. And finally, we'll talk about what you can realistically expect. Not exaggerated claims, but real, noticeable changes, physically, mentally, and metabolically. The kind of shifts that go beyond weight loss and start affecting how your body looks, feels, and functions on a deeper level. By the end of this video, you'll understand why this process has the potential to make the body look and feel years younger, and more importantly, why most people never actually reach this state, even if they believe they're fasting. Let's start with the real problem most people are facing, without even realizing it. The real problem isn't that people aren't trying hard enough. It's that the body is almost never given the conditions it needs to actually repair itself. Think about the way most people eat today. From the moment they wake up, there's a constant cycle. Breakfast, snacks, lunch, more snacks, dinner, sometimes even late-night eating. Every time food comes in, especially anything that raises blood sugar, insulin rises with it. And insulin has one primary job: storage. So when insulin stays elevated throughout the day, your body remains in what we call storage mode. It's focused on using incoming energy, storing excess, and keeping things running, but not fixing what's broken. Now imagine a factory that runs 24 hours a day, non-stop. Machines are working, products are moving, everything looks productive on the surface. But there's one problem. It never shuts down for maintenance. No repairs, no deep cleaning, no replacement of worn-out parts. Over time, what happens? Things start to break down. That's exactly what's happening inside the body. Damaged cells begin to accumulate. Inflammation slowly rises. Water retention and bloating become more noticeable. Metabolism starts to slow down because the system is overloaded and inefficient. And this is where aging quietly accelerates. Because as we get older, the body naturally becomes less efficient at clearing out cellular waste. If we never give it the opportunity to enter a true repair state, that buildup compounds over time, and it starts to show. Not just internally, but externally. In your skin, your energy, your overall appearance. Now here's where most people are misled. They've been told that eating frequently keeps the metabolism active, that skipping meals is somehow harmful or even dangerous. And while there's some context where that advice might apply, it's incomplete, because it completely ignores one critical factor. Your body doesn't repair itself while it's constantly digesting. Most strategies focus entirely on what to eat, calories, macros, food quality, but overlook when your body actually gets the chance to shift gears and begin repairing damage at a cellular level. And the truth is, for most people, that shift never really happens. They might fast for a few hours, maybe skip a meal, but they rarely stay in that fasted state long enough for the deeper biological processes to activate. And that's where this deeper fasting state changes everything. To really understand why this works, you have to look at what actually happens inside the body as fasting progresses, step by step. In the early hours without food, your body starts by using stored glycogen. This is the glucose kept in your liver and muscles, and it's your body's first backup fuel source. For a while, everything feels normal because you're still running on stored energy. But once that glycogen begins to run low, something important happens. Insulin levels start to drop. And when insulin drops, your body is no longer being told to store energy. It's finally allowed to access what's already there. This is when fat burning begins to increase. Your body starts breaking down stored fat and converting it into ketones, which become an alternative fuel source for your brain and body. As ketone levels rise, your metabolism shifts into a more efficient, fat-adapted state. Energy becomes more stable, and the body is no longer dependent on constant food intake. But here's where it gets interesting. Beyond this point, as fasting continues, the body doesn't just burn fuel, it starts to change its priority entirely. This is where autophagy comes in. Think of autophagy as your body's internal cleaning crew. It goes through damaged cells, broken proteins, and worn-out components, removes what's no longer useful, and recycles those parts into new, functional building blocks. It's not just cleanup, It's renewal. And the longer the body stays in this state, the more it shifts away from simply burning energy toward optimizing repair at a cellular level. This is the deeper phase most people never reach. As this process continues, several things begin to happen beneath the surface. Inflammation starts to come down because the body is actively clearing out dysfunctional material. Your mitochondria, the energy centers of your cells, begin to function more efficiently. Even water retention decreases as the system becomes less stressed and more balanced. And these internal changes don't stay hidden. Less inflammation means less puffiness. Skin starts to appear clearer and tighter. There's a more defined, sharper look that begins to emerge, not because of a quick fix, but because the body is finally operating in a cleaner, more efficient state. This isn't magic. It's simply what happens when your body is given enough time to finally fix itself. What makes this even more compelling is that this isn't just theory or anecdotal experience. It's something researchers have been studying for years. In fact, one of the most important breakthroughs came when Yoshinori Ohsumi was awarded the Nobel Prize for his work on autophagy. His research helped uncover how cells break down and recycle their own components, a process that, until then, wasn't fully understood at a deeper level. And what he and other researchers observed was fascinating. When the body enters a fasted state and remains there long enough, it doesn't just conserve energy, it begins shifting its priority. Instead of focusing on growth and constant intake, it activates internal repair systems. In simple terms, the body starts cleaning house. Other studies looking at fasting and metabolic switching have shown similar patterns. As the body transitions away from glucose and into fat burning, ketones begin to rise. But ketones aren't just fuel. They also act as signaling molecules, influencing how cells behave, repair, and protect themselves. Researchers observed that once the body enters a fasted state beyond a certain threshold, it begins prioritizing repair over growth. And that shift comes with measurable effects. There's an increase in cellular cleanup activity, meaning damaged or dysfunctional components are more actively broken down and recycled. Insulin sensitivity improves, allowing the body to manage blood sugar more efficiently once feeding resumes. And markers of inflammation, one of the key drivers of aging and metabolic dysfunction, begin to decrease. Now, this doesn't mean fasting is a magic cure or that more is always better, but it does highlight something important. The body already has these systems built in. They're not artificial. They're not something you need to buy or supplement. They're part of a deeply ingrained survival mechanism that humans have relied on for thousands of years, long before constant access to food became the norm. And in today's world, where the body is almost never given a break from digestion and intake, these systems simply don't get activated the way they were designed to. That's why this isn't just another health trend. It's a biologically programmed process, one that only reveals itself when the body is allowed to step out of its constant cycle of consumption and into a state where repair finally takes priority. If you're going to approach this the right way, structure matters. This isn't about jumping into an extreme fast overnight. It's about preparing your body so the transition feels controlled, not stressful. Start with preparation. A few days before fasting, begin gradually reducing your carbohydrate intake. This helps your body ease into fat-burning mode instead of fighting the shift. At the same time, focus on proper hydration. Most people underestimate this, but going into a fast already dehydrated makes the entire process harder than it needs to be. Also, try to avoid heavy processed foods leading up to it. The cleaner your starting point, the smoother your body adapts once food is removed. Then comes the fasting phase. This is where you move into a controlled, short-term water fast. The goal here isn't to push your limits. It's to allow your body enough time to transition through its natural stages. Hydration stays critical throughout. Water intake should remain consistent, and this is where electrolyte awareness becomes important as well. When insulin drops, your body excretes more sodium and fluids, so maintaining balance helps prevent fatigue, GLKH lightheadedness, or unnecessary discomfort. Now, in terms of timing, this is where most people misunderstand the process. In the early phase, your body is still adjusting, burning through glycogen and stabilizing energy. As you move further in, fat burning increases and ketones begin to rise. But the deeper effects, the ones related to cellular repair, typically begin after your body has fully shifted into this fat-adapted state. The exact timing can vary depending on the individual, but the key idea is this. The real benefits don't happen immediately. They happen once your body has had enough time to move past the initial transition and settle into that deeper metabolic state. And this is exactly where most people make mistakes. They start too aggressively, thinking more is better. They ignore hydration, which leads to unnecessary strain, or they break the fast improperly, overloading the system right when it's most sensitive, which can undo much of the benefit. This is why the approach needs to be intentional. You're not trying to shock your body, you're working with it. This is about control, not extremes. When you follow this process, the changes happen in phases, each one building on the last, so it helps to know what to expect at each stage. In the early phase, most people notice waves of hunger. This is normal and actually a sign that glycogen stores are being depleted. Your body is shifting from using readily available glucose to tapping into stored energy. During this time, energy may fluctuate a bit and mental focus can feel scattered, but it's temporary, and it's the first step toward unlocking the deeper effects. As you move into the mid-phase, things start to change more noticeably. Fat burning increases as your body adapts to using ketones for energy. Many people report a surprising sense of mental clarity and focus during this period. It's almost like the fog of constant digestion lifts, giving you steadier energy and a sharper mind. Physical changes may begin subtly, but internally, the body is entering the stage where repair mechanisms start to activate. Finally, in the deeper phase, the effects become more visible and tangible. Bloating and water retention decrease as inflammation comes down and cellular systems optimize. Your skin can look clearer and more defined, and facial features may appear sharper due to the reduction in puffiness. Energy becomes stable, more sustained, and less dependent on constant food intake. This is also when many people notice improvements in mood and focus, as the body is operating in a more balanced and efficient state. It's important to have realistic expectations throughout this timeline. These aren't overnight transformations or dramatic shifts after a single fast. What you're seeing is the body moving through natural, biologically programmed stages, each one necessary for the next. Some effects, like hunger fluctuations, may feel uncomfortable at first, but they signal that your body is transitioning correctly. Other benefits, like clearer skin or stable energy, are gradual but meaningful indicators that repair processes are underway. The key is consistency and patience. By respecting the phases and allowing the body enough time to progress, you give yourself the opportunity to reach that deeper stage of repair, where the combination of fat burning, cellular cleanup, and metabolic optimization begins to translate into results you can see, feel, and sustain. It's important to understand that while fasting can be incredibly powerful, it's not suitable for everyone, and safety must always come first. Certain groups of people should avoid extended fasting entirely. This includes anyone who is pregnant or breastfeeding, as your body has very specific nutritional needs during that time. It also applies to individuals who are underweight or who have a history of eating disorders, as fasting could exacerbate health risks in those situations. People with certain medical conditions also need to proceed with extreme caution. For example, anyone with severe liver, kidney, or heart issues should not attempt prolonged fasting without close supervision. Even seemingly minor health concerns can become significant if the body is placed under the stress of extended food restriction. Medication use is another area that requires careful consideration. Individuals taking diabetes medications, particularly insulin or blood sugar lowering drugs, must consult a healthcare professional before fasting. Blood pressure medications can also be affected since fasting changes fluid balance and electrolyte levels, which may influence how your medication works. Adjustments and monitoring are often necessary, and trying to manage this on your own can be dangerous. This is why consultation with a qualified healthcare professional is essential. A doctor or registered dietitian can help evaluate your personal situation, review your medications, and determine whether fasting is safe for you or if modifications are required. They can also help monitor your progress to prevent complications, such as dehydration, electrolyte imbalance, or dizziness. Even if you are generally healthy, it's crucial to approach fasting responsibly. Start gradually, pay close attention to how your body responds, and never ignore warning signs like extreme fatigue, dizziness, or irregular heartbeat. Fasting is a tool, not a test of endurance, and using it safely is what allows your body to benefit from repair processes without putting your health at risk. Remember, the goal is control and awareness, not pushing your limits recklessly. By taking these precautions, you ensure that your fasting experience is both effective and safe, giving your body the opportunity to activate its natural repair systems while minimizing any potential risks. Always prioritize safety and treat fasting as a guided process rather than a shortcut. Remember, this isn't about perfection. It's not about doing everything flawlessly or forcing your body into extremes. It's about understanding how your body works, respecting its natural rhythms, and giving it the opportunity to repair and regenerate in ways most people never experience. Consistency matters more than intensity. Small, intentional shifts in timing, when you eat, when you allow your body to rest and repair, can create massive changes internally. Over time, these subtle adjustments compound, leading to improved energy, reduced inflammation, clearer skin, and a body that functions more efficiently. The key is patience and awareness. Each fast, each moment of control brings you closer to activating the deeper biological processes that rejuvenate the body from the inside out. And as you witness these changes, the motivation to continue grows, not from pressure, but from the results your own body is showing you. If you found this video helpful, I encourage you to take the next step. Like this video if it resonated with you, subscribe to the channel for more practical, science-based insights on fasting and cellular repair, and share it with someone who could benefit from understanding how their body truly heals itself. Every action counts, and by taking even these small steps today, you're investing in your long-term health, vitality, and the ability to look and feel years younger. What if I told you that fasting alone is just part of the puzzle? In the next video, we'll explore what happens when you combine fasting with one specific nutrient strategy, a pairing that most people completely miss. It sounds simple, but the timing and choice of this nutrient can make a dramatic difference. Done correctly, it can amplify your results, helping your body repair faster, burn fat more efficiently, and even enhance visible changes in your skin and energy levels. Done incorrectly, it can cancel out the benefits entirely, keeping your body stuck in the same cycle it's been in for years. Most people never realize this. They focus solely on fasting duration or intensity, completely overlooking the subtle, powerful impact of nutrient timing. And that's why many people plateau or fail to reach the deeper regenerative states we've been talking about. In the next video, I'll break down exactly what nutrient to combine with fasting, how to time it, and why it triggers a hidden biological switch that most people never activate. If you thought fasting was powerful on its own, wait until you see what happens when it's paired correctly. You won't want to miss this. I'll break it all down in the next video.